It's Palm Sunday and the beginning of Holy Week. And each day for the next week, we're going to walk through the final week of Jesus' life together. We've called our Holy Week services at Matthew's table the rescue this year because that's exactly what this week is all about. It's not just a historical recap, it's the moment heaven invaded earth, not with armies or violence, but with humility and sacrifice and love. Today is Palm Sunday, the day that Jesus entered Jerusalem for the final time. And if you grew up in church, you might remember palm branches and people shouting, "Hosanna!" But what you may not have realized is that this wasn't a parade, it was the beginning of a rescue mission. Let's look at Matthew 21, 1 through 10 together. It says, "When they approached Jerusalem and came to Bethphage at the Mount of Olives, Jesus then sent 2 disciples, telling them, 'Go into the village ahead of you. At once you'll find a donkey tied there with her colt. Untie them and bring them to me. If anyone says anything to you, say that the Lord needs them, and he will send them at once.' This took place so that what was spoken through the prophet might be fulfilled. 'Tell daughter Zion, see, your king is coming to you, gentle and mounted on a donkey and on a colt, the foal of a donkey.' The disciples went and did just as Jesus directed them. They brought the donkey and the colt, then they laid their clothes on them, and he sat on them. A very large crowd spread their clothes on the road. Others were cutting branches from the trees and spreading them on the road. Then the crowds who went ahead of him and those who followed shouted, 'Hosanna to the Son of David! Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord! Hosanna in the highest heaven!' When he entered Jerusalem, the whole city was in an uproar, saying, 'Who is this?'" This moment, it looks like a celebration, but it's actually preparation for sacrifice. The people were shouting, "Hosanna," which literally means "save us." But they had no idea what kind of salvation Jesus was bringing. They were expecting a king to conquer Rome, but Jesus came to conquer sin. They wanted a throne. Jesus brought a cross. They waved palm branches like they were welcoming a military hero, but Jesus came riding on a donkey, fulfilling a prophecy from the Old Testament, showing not power, but humility. And isn't that just like Jesus? The rescue doesn't begin with flashing lights or a battle cry. It begins with a borrowed donkey, with a crowd who misunderstood him, and with a quiet king riding toward his death because he loves us that much. Maybe today you're feeling overwhelmed. Maybe you've got that difficult thing that's holding you down, your own chains and things that you need rescue from. But let Palm Sunday remind you, Jesus is coming for you. He's already moving toward the cross. He's already saying, "I'll carry the weight. I will pay the price." The crowds cried out, "Save us!" And that's exactly what he came to do. He just wasn't going to do it in the way they expected. So here's the challenge for you on this Palm Sunday. As we begin Holy Week, take a few moments to ask Jesus, "What do you want to rescue in me this week?" Maybe there's sin you've been holding on to. Maybe there's grief, anxiety, pride, or bitterness or fear. Jesus didn't ride into the city for a parade. He came for a rescue. And it starts today. Jesus comes not as the king we expect, but the one we need.